Let's finish this quilt top. Hi, I'm Angie with Cutting Edge Quilter, and today we're going to finish this quilt top. This is what we have been working on for the past few weeks on these blocks that I picked up at the Quilt Shop Hop in Missouri 2 years ago. Now we're going to finish up the quilt top and make the corner pieces. I'll show you how I do that, and then we'll be ready to quilt. So here's my plan of attack with this project. So I have these blocks all done here. You see I got the little, like a black, it's a navy piece of fabric because I was kind of auditioning just to see if maybe that would work. And I have them spread out like this. I think my plan is to go ahead and put the navy as a background of those, and then I would do like little triangles of the navy here to make it square, and then I will put a couple borders on it, and then we'll be good to go. But I think I kind of like this layout the best, and then see how it goes from there. Okay, so this is my navy material that I'm going to use for my background pieces. What I am going to do as of right now is just cut several 2-inch pieces, strips. And what that will do is give me, because I use, you're going to have to allow a 1/4 inch for seam allowance. That'll take off 1/2 inch. So basically, my strips will be 1.5 inch once they're finished. So what I'm going to do right now is just straighten out this edge right here, and then I'll start cutting my strips. Okay, I don't know how many strips I'm going to actually need. So what I'm going to do is just cut a couple of them. Just cut a couple of them. And then some of my, as you saw in my previous videos, some of my blocks are smaller than others. So we're going to have to do some maneuvering on how much I need to cut. But I'm going to get started with a couple of strips, and then I was thinking about using some of this navy color for a border. So I don't want to cut off too much more than I need, because I'm going to be using it for a border possibly. So I'm going to go ahead and start attaching these to my blocks and see, because ultimately I want to square up my quilt. So I just want to make sure everything is square and it all comes together nicely. Okay, so basically what I did here was this, all of these blocks they were different sizes, every one of them. So what I'm doing, and this is what you can do, just maybe a tip, is I took my biggest block, which is this one right here, and it was 13 by 13, and I just put all of the background, just cut a 2-inch strip, and made all of the background, made all of the blocks 13 by 13. So I want all of the blocks to be the same. Now I can arrange them however I want to, and I know that they're the same. And if I want rows, I can make rows, and now I can just put sashing there, and I don't have to cut the sashing in different sizes or anything like that. It's just gonna make it one big row between the blocks. So my plan is, and this isn't the way I'm going to have them, but I'm thinking of putting rows, like when you do them on point, you have to do like a row here, and then a row here, and then another row here. So basically that's my plan. And then you would put like a triangle, because the rows are gonna be all together. You'd make a triangle of your background right here and in different areas to make the whole quilt square. So that is basically what I'm going to do. And then I'll show you how it looks afterwards. Okay, so I'm back at it again. This, I think, may be my layout. I really like the way this is laid out. I put like a sashing right there of the same color that we have. I bordered the blocks with. I think what I am wanting to do is to break it up with maybe a square in the middle there. And then I will put something on the corners, like a triangle or something, to make this whole quilt square and to make it kind of like a lap size quilt. So, but for now I'm going to go ahead and just put the sashing around. I'm doing a 2-inch sashing around each square, and probably put those together with maybe a block in the middle. All right, another plan of attack. This is what I'm thinking. So what I did was I went ahead and joined together the rows. So I went here, here, and here. Put my little square in the middle here. I also, these are 2-inch strips. I went through all 4 corners. I sewed just a border of the same color, so it'd be like a background of fabric. And I'm going to put, this is going to be, so basically this is going to be the middle of the quilt. I'm going to put corners here, here, of course here and here. And I'm going to make a, almost like a square quilt. Okay, so basically I kind of made a rough drawing of my quilt, very rough. And so I have my blocks here. I said in my last video that they were 7.5 by 7.5, but actually they're 8 by 8. So what I did was I kind of drew up, these are like extra fabric, more than what you need, but why I do this is because you have to do of course the seam allowance, but when you're doing a triangle like this, I cut off quite a bit here, but I want to make sure there's plenty of room to where this top right here is where it will be even, and so the side. So basically I'm doing 11.5 inches on this way. Here's my block, and then another 10.5 inches of fabric this way. So it'll be 8 inches wide, and I do about 7.5 inches wide here, and about 36 inches wide here, 27 inches wide for my triangle. So this is all just one like strip, like a square, and these will be straight like this. So basically I'm looking at something like this when I get done. And then what I'll do is I'll lay it, fold it right sides together, and then cut whatever I need off of it, and just sew it up on to make a 1/4 inch. So basically that's how I do my triangles, and then whenever you flip it over, then you get this square. So I'll show you that. Okay, so here is the progress I've made so far. Basically these are going to be my corner blocks, and I'm going to cut apart there to make it all even. Actually, I think this one's cut, so I think we're good. I do need to cut part of that off to make it even with this. I need to add 2 more triangles, and I'll show you how I'm doing that. And those are going to be in the triangles. Okay, so basically this is going to be a square. So there's going to be the top, the bottom, and I think I'll just leave it at that. Or once I get done with it, I may add some length to it to make it longer, longer rather than wider. So maybe add some border to the top and the bottom to make it a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you how I make those corners and what measurements I use to make those. So this is a longer strip than what I normally would get, but this is the basics. I need to iron these, so that's the reason why they're wrinkledy. But yeah, you would take your strip like this, and you would just sew it right sides together on here. You would take your other strip and go to the other side, and also sew right sides together. And then you will have one long strip with this one in the middle. Okay, so basically this is what one strip, the middle strip with the block, is going to look like. So basically this is the reason why you want it to be a little bit longer is because you notice there's short right here, right there, you're at the very edge. You want to make it to where it's even closer than that. So because whenever you flip it around, you want to make sure that you get this edge onto this, onto your actual border. So, and you see you're going to have a lot that you're going to cut, but you want to make sure that you don't cut this first because you want to have plenty of room. Because if you notice, if you go a lot farther over here, you're going to cut your points off. So this is basically what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and make another strip for here. And like I said, I'm going to make this a little bit longer. It will probably go to probably around right here. And then make that strip. And then what I do is get, for this triangle, I get just like a square. So I've got this, and then it'll go all the way down to here because we need it to go right here. And then it's going to be a big square. So you're going to cut quite a bit off. What I have been doing is using that for, and I'm going to show you this one. The square or the triangle that I cut from here, because you're going to cut a triangle right here. I've been using it for the next one. So this triangle was from the other one that I cut off of that one, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my strip and my square, and then I'll sew it all together. Okay, so I cut my strip, and I wanted to kind of give you an overview of what it's going to look like. So this is where I want this one to be, because it'll give me plenty of seam allowance, so I don't cut off my points. This one's going to go all the way over there. So what I'm going to do, since I have this on my design wall, I'm going to go ahead and start my sewing right here, go all the way over. I mean, I probably could have used another, the whole length of that for this one, just so it wouldn't start right here, but that's okay. If you notice, I do have lines on my design wall. I bought that from Amazon, so I'll link that below if you're interested in one of these. I love mine. But I have my lines, so that way I know when I am working on this one over here, I'm going to line it up just like I did over there. So it's going to be on the same line. So that way I get my block where they look even. So that's what it's going to look like. And now I'm going to make my square for here. It's going to go down here, and then I will sew that up. Okay, so these are sewn together. This is kind of where it gets tricky. So you want to make sure that you fold it over, and what I'm going to do is just lay this on a big table. So you have a kitchen table or whatever, because it's going to be easier. You want to make sure that you're at the top here, and that you have that quarter seam to where it's going to go kind of like this. And what I like to do is mark it and then cut off the excess after I've got it marked the way I want, and then I clip everything together. So I'll show you that. Okay, so I've got it laid down on my table, and this is the top of it. And what I'm going to do is flip it, but you have to be kind of strategic with how you flip it, because you got to make sure that these points right here are matching with the point that's on the quilt. So this has to match with this, and if you kind of notice, there is kind of a ridge where that where the border ends. So if you, to make it a little easier for you, you could get just use your fingernail and kind of make a dent there where you can kind of see where there's a line, and do it that way. And once you pin, because what I'm going to do is pin that, I'm going to flip it over because I got to do right sides together. I'm going to pin that, and then I'm just going to cut off the excess. So there's just going to be a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'll probably pin, or I probably will cut off just a little bit more than the 1/4 inch, just to make sure that I get it correct and where it looks good on there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it around and show you where I am at that point. Okay, what I did was, you can see that I made an indent right there. That's where I'm going to pin to the other side of my fabric, and that's where I'm going to sew. So I'm going to pin this really well, and then I'm going to sew down that line. Okay, and so that is it. That is the quilt top that we've made. It has not been completed. So this quilt measures to be approximately 60 by 72, so 60 across by 72 lengthwise, and perfect for a throw quilt. So if you have, I know the blocks, the corner blocks were a little bit confusing, because that's with the triangles and things like that. If you have any questions, definitely put a comment below, and I'll try to answer you on that. But it was a lot of fun. I thought it turned out really well. I like the way that and I'll go over here to show you. I like the way that the corner strips kind of gave it a little addition to the quilt. And I also went ahead and added some borders just to make it a little bit more interesting. So the white borders, or it's actually cream colored borders, to the top and the sides. So that kind of gives it a little bit extra height and width as well. So I hope you enjoyed the videos. Stay tuned next week, where I will go ahead and try to finish this up. We will put backing, and we're going to go ahead and quilt that, and I'll show you what I quilt on it and how I quilt that using my long arm. If you have any questions, any comments, suggestions, definitely leave those down in the comments below. And please, if you want to see more of these videos, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Happy quilting! Thanks for watching.